All right, I had given y'all the belief quiz in class the other day, and I wanted to go ahead and give you the results of this. And there might be some surprises, maybe there aren't. But basically, there are four terms on the study guide that this is going to deal with. It's going to deal with conservatives, populists, liberals, and libertarians. So let me go ahead and take this quadrant by quadrant and kind of break down exactly what it is each of y'all are, and make sure that you understand the relationship between bedroom, government regulation or non-regulation, and of course wallet or government regulation and non-regulation. If we start off down here in the bottom left-hand quadrant, you're going to notice that you folks are my minuses. What this means is that you believe that government should not regulate economic or wallet issues, and you believe that government, in fact, should stay out of bedroom or moral issues. Colin, Ava Sophia, Ike, Leonard, and Tenzin, you folks are all what are known as libertarians. Libertarians are actually going to believe that the better government is the smaller government. Libertarians are going to believe that government should stay out largely of economic issues, meaning I should earn what I keep, but I should also keep what I earn. They're not going to be especially interested in big government programs because that's going to require more taxes and more redistribution. They believe typically that people should rise and fall on their own merits. Libertarians are also going to believe that government should largely stay out of moral issues. Abortion, let the woman decide. School prayer, no, you can't force that. That's an individual's choice to pray or not to pray. Marriage is between a man and a woman. No, actually, marriage is going to be defined by each individual person or maybe each individual couple. So libertarians are going to believe that government should largely stay out of your bedroom or moral issues and also your wallet or economic issues. And effectively, small government is better. Maybe even government in all issues is the problem more than it's the solution. Regarding specific people on this, Colin, it looks like you are a good solid libertarian in terms of economic issues, but it looks like, Colin, you're more moderate in terms of moral ones. If you notice over here towards the center line, Ike, Leonard, and Tenzin, all of y'all are very moderate in terms of wallet or economic issues, but you're much more interested in individual freedom in terms of the actual moral issues. And you notice up here, you've got the origin that's here in the center. The closer that you are to the center or the origin on the box, the more moderate your views. And as you begin to get further and further away, whether it be to the left or the right, in this instance, Colin wanting government out of economics, or down, in this instance, Ike, Leonard, and Tenzin, then wanting government to stay out of morals. In fact, your views are stronger. You've also got another person down here way off to the side, Ava Sophia. Ava Sophia, you are a very strong libertarian. On 6 of the 7 questions, you said government should stay out of morals. On 6 of the 7 questions, you said government should stay out of economics. You typically believe that the individual should be doing what the individual wants and that government should maintain a very modest presence. One of the things that you'll notice, and if you slide over to this bottom right-hand quadrant, this is actually going to be the liberal quadrant. The liberal quadrant. And what I mean by this, you're going to believe, if you're a liberal, that in fact government should regulate economic or wallet issues, and government should stay out of morals. So on one hand, in terms of moral issues, the liberals are going to have a very strong overlap with libertarians. But when it comes, in fact, to economic ones, they're going to believe in a larger government role. You'll notice here's Hiba, Kayla, Lewis, Dustin, Connor, Jean-Paul. All of y'all scored as liberals. Hiba, in fairness, and Sean as well, y'all were basically, if we change one question, y'all could have ended up in either of the 4 boxes or the 4 quadrants. So y'all are really moderate with your views. If you notice, Dustin and Connor, y'all are good solid liberals. 5 of the 7 you said government should regulate morals, or pardon me, stay out of morals. 5 of the 7 you said that government should regulate wallet issues. Just good solid liberals. Liberals are going to believe in kind of a Robin Hood theory of government at some level, at least in terms of economics. Liberals are going to believe that you should take from the rich and give to the poor. You hear President Obama and a lot of leading liberals say it's not that we want to punish the wealthy, but they should pay their fair share too. And in fact, we need to make sure that too few people don't have too much and too many people don't have enough. Let's redistribute. This is not about taxing everybody at the same percentage, but as you earn more, you should pay more in taxes. If you decide that you want to buy a house, but it's your first house and you can't, maybe you need a little bit of help, then in fact the government should step in and help. Government should regulate the price of gas, for example, so that people would better be able to afford it. And there are going to be varying degrees of this, but generally speaking, government wants to get involved in the wallet. Going back to the moral issues, liberals are going to overlap very, very strongly with libertarians. Let people decide to pray on their own. If they choose to abort, they should choose to abort on their own. If in fact they choose to marry, what they define marriage as should be their definition, and in fact not one that the government imposes on them. Needless to say, liberals and libertarians are also not going to be particularly interested in you being able to shoot somebody if in fact you feel threatened by them. When you look at this, again, liberals and libertarians share that moral line. So they're going to believe that government should stay out of moral or bedroom issues. Keep that in mind. If we go from the bottom right-hand quadrant, and one more thing, you'll notice way down here at the very, very bottom, there are liberals and then there's Eric. Eric, you scored a perfect score. On 7 of the 7, you said that government should stay out of moral issues. On 7 of the 7, you in fact said that government should regulate the wallet issues. You're about as strong a liberal as 14 questions can actually give me. And I almost need to have a separate quadrant for you. You're so far away from the center. To kind of pull this back, if we wanted to go up from the bottom right-hand quadrant up to the upper left-hand quadrant, we get to the conservatives. And you'll notice here that conservatives and liberals are exactly catty-corner from each other. They don't share a side. So if liberals are going to believe that government should regulate wallet issues and stay out of bedroom issues, then in fact conservatives are going to be the exact opposite. Conservatives are going to believe that government should stay out of the wallet or economic issues, and they should regulate the moral ones. Salim, Sean, Veronica, you three scored as far as my conservatives are concerned. Conservatives are going to believe that government can make better decisions than the people can regarding their moral issues. So with this in mind, abortion is not an individual choice, but it should be strongly regulated by the government if it's allowed at all. Prayer. People cannot make decisions on their own. Let's allow government to require prayer so that they can make better decisions through government guidance. When it comes to marriage, marriage is between a man and a woman. The root of conservative is to conserve or to preserve or to protect, you could argue. And I don't want to say that all Republicans or conservatives are going to believe this way, but I would suggest to you that a number of them would argue that you should be allowed to conserve or preserve your resources. You should be allowed to shoot someone if in fact you feel threatened. When you start getting into the economic issues, conservatives do share a side with the libertarians, and that is the wallet line. Government should stay out of the wallet. We should all be taxed the same, and I should not be punished for being more successful. I should be able to stand, rise, or fall on my own merits as opposed to having government prop me up or support me for that matter. Conservatives are also typically going to be very interested in individual responsibility and individual success as opposed to the government getting involved. Now, notice on here, we've only got 3 conservatives, Veronica, Sean, and Salim. Salim, you are actually a very strong conservative in terms of economic issues. You don't want the government getting involved with your money. You'll notice up here, Veronica, you're actually a good, solid conservative on moral issues. There are certain kinds of behavior, in fact, that government should not allow people to choose, but government should regulate. One thing to notice, and this is kind of a key point, when people are younger or college age, oftentimes they're going to be more liberal than they will be at any other point in their life. Now, that's not to say that they're automatically going to be liberal, but that's going to be to say that they're more liberal leaning. Now, if you go down to this bottom right-hand quadrant, you're going to notice we've got like 7 or 8 people, basically a good third to 40% of the class as liberals. With this being said, we've only got 3 up here that are conservatives. What you see, conservatives tend to take over more in middle age. Kind of makes sense. If you're young, you don't have that good job yet, you don't have that house yet, you don't have that family yet, oftentimes, for example, you have less to lose. As you get more to middle age, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you've got that family, you've got that job, you've got that mortgage, you've got that SUV, you've got more things, in fact, that you're going to want to conserve or preserve. So with that in mind, it makes sense that you become more conservative at middle age because you've got more things that you could conceivably lose. The last category that's up here is actually the upper right-hand quadrant, and you folks are what are known as my populace. Nathan, Godfred, David, you folks are all actually right there, and you're positive people. Government should regulate moral issues, government should regulate bedroom issues, government should regulate economic and wallet issues, government, in other words, should regulate everything. Populists are going to believe that government can make better decisions for people than people can make for themselves. Government can spend money for people better than people can help themselves. Government, in fact, needs to establish certain moral guidelines, and government can do this better than people can do it for themselves. In other words, government is there to help Joe and Jane Sixpack, and they're there to help them stand up against big business, corporations, the wealthy, anybody that could conceivably threaten them. And there is a need for populists, there's no question. The danger with populists, though, is that once they get started regulating, sometimes they go a little bit too far. And in fact, when they go a little bit too far, they begin to regulate more and more and more and more, and it becomes very unhealthy for individuals. Populists are going to believe in regulating moral issues very strongly, but they're equally going to believe in regulating the wallet issues. So they're going to be like conservatives in terms of bedroom issues, and they're going to be like liberals in terms of economic ones. And just like we had said before, that in fact the conservatives and the liberals are catty from each other, or they don't share a side, you'll notice the populists are up here in the upper right-hand quadrant. The libertarians are down here in the lower left-hand quadrant. Libertarians and populists are going to be arch rivals, or almost a nemesis of each other as well. They're not going to agree on bedroom or wallet issues. For exam purposes, please make sure that you remember, in fact, what the relationship of government is with bedroom and wallet, government regulation, for each of these categories: conservative, libertarian, liberal, and populist, and make sure that you can explain some of the examples that they either agree with or, in fact, that they don't.